Hey guys, welcome back. So, as I told you guys in my previous video, I'm going to be moving towards playing SWTOR again, and this is the reason why here. 7.0 update, which came out, I believe, in February. So it's been a while. I knew the update dropped, and I just hadn't really looked into it much until maybe a couple weeks ago when I was kind of just bored of a bunch of games that my buddies and I were playing. So I decided, I always have it installed, so I decided to launch it and give it a try. I usually end up subbing just to get the best experience, which is 15 a month. The game is now free on Steam. You can do 90% of the, or I don't know the exact percent. There are some things you can't do. Leveling is a little faster. Some gear, purple and yellow gear, you can't wear if you're not subbed. So it stinks a little bit that you have to sub to play the full game, but it is what it is. They have to make money. It's a 10-year-old game and they're continuing to make content for it, so they need to make money somewhere. So I get it. But yeah, this update has changed a lot of things that I think needed to be changed. It added new content. As you can see over here, they're continually updating the game almost monthly. There's another content update coming out in a couple weeks. So there's really been a resurgence, I think, since 7.0 released. There's a ton of people playing. It's pretty easy to get groups for almost anything, even operations, which are 8 to 16 man, which I think is really cool. When I stopped playing maybe a year or two ago, it had dwindled down a little bit. There's always been a core group of players that never stopped playing, like a couple friends of mine, Cal and Naz, shout out to you two, who I jumped back in, saw Cal online, and immediately started playing and joined their new guild that they formed. We are on SWTOR server, by the way, if anyone wants to join us. But yeah, I'm gonna skip some of these because some of them are just like this kind of stuff I'll most likely skip, but we'll go through it. Just for some context, I'm not gonna probably do these game updates because they're just smaller random ones, but I will do the new patches that come out in the future. Um, so yeah, let's go ahead and go through this. It's pretty long, so bear with me. I think a lot of these changes are really cool though, so I would suggest watching it. So, new storyline, Legacy of the Sith. This new expansion sends players to the darkest depths and farthest reaches in the galaxy in the pursuit of Darth Malgus. So they do usually have a new story update once every couple years, I believe. So this is really exciting. New Flashpoint Manon. The Sith Empire has invaded Manon to seize its abundance of Kolto, vital resources, medical resources, a vital medical resource on all sides of the war. Oh gosh, I haven't read in a while apparently. New Flashpoint, which is awesome. Elam. Explore the ruined Sith fortress on the planet Elam that was mysteriously erased from all records. Really cool. Galactic Seasons 2. Launch of the second Galactic Season, Shadows of the Underworld, earn new and exciting rewards by completing season objectives. So we can potentially go into that later, but the Galactic Seasons are essentially just time frames that you have to complete objectives and get special rewards. So that's really cool. Increase the level cap. Awesome. Increased it from 75 to 80 for all subs. I don't know if you can, maybe the cap is 75 for non-subbed players, but I was able to get my main to 80 just doing the storyline probably within an hour or two, which is really cool. So this is one of the best features I think they added, combat styles. I'm not going to click on the link, but in essence, the combat styles means that you can pick another spec from any class and have it playable on your characters. So for instance, my main is a Sith assassin. I can play a Jedi Knight and have one of the Jedi Knight specs to toy around with. Because one of the biggest issues is a lot of people in our guild, for instance, play only Empire. No one wants to go level a pub side character just to play it. Now you can do that on the Empire side, which I think is really cool. It basically makes one character able to fulfill all three roles potentially. So for instance, with my assassin, I can play one of the two DPS assassin specs or the tank spec, and I believe that I made that combat styles. The secondary combat style is the Inquisitor, or the Sorcerer rather. So now I can do one of the two Sorceress DPS specs, or I can heal. So now my one character has access to all three of the roles, which I think is really cool. Improved player experience. New character creation experience along with new looks for the character sheet and inventory. So the character sheet and inventory looks really nice. It was a little clunky and outdated before, so I think that's really cool. I haven't created a new character yet, but I will go through the new character creation in a future video in the coming weeks. So loadouts, this one's pretty self-explanatory, which is really clutch. You can switch very easily uh, between different specs. So for instance, I have one of my assassin DPS specs and my tank spec set up, so I can switch between them. You obviously can't do it in instance or while you're in queue, but that's to be expected. It's just much easier than having to go to the vendor, change it, and then move all of your skills around accordingly, because you obviously get different skills with different specs. So I think this loadout change is absolutely huge. Legendary items. These new items replace set bonuses for greater customization of the bonuses you receive. So I believe that they did they took out set items in essence. So the 306 top tier gear is now 330. So 330 is the top tier gear, but you can only get that through nightmare raids. 326 is the new cap for PvP and just flashpoints and things like that. We'll get into that a little more later, I'm sure. So PvP Season 14 is just the new ranked season, new rewards, etc. on that. We can skip that one. 10-year anniversary. To celebrate the 10-year anniversary, vendors will be available until January 2023. Their inventories have been updated to include new rewards and the best view of SWTOR contest decorations. Cool. So, general. The anniversary discount pricing for the Drummond class and Coruscant strongholds has expired, so it looks like some of these we can kind of just skim through. New hairstyles, that's cool. Kai Zyken's inventory is now correctly working. Sounds like that was just a bug. All PTS rewards have been granted to all eligible players except for Kai Zyken's MK85 lock mount. This will be granted the next patch, so that's probably out already. Fixed an issue where guild perks did not appear in the rooms of the perks window. Guild perks are now aligned to weekly reset. So we'll kind of scan through some of this. We'll do this content scaling for sure. Missions that require a terminal to complete will now auto-complete. This is huge. Having to run back to the terminals to complete these missions was a huge hassle. Uncompleted daily and weekly missions are now removed from the player log once they reset. That's pretty cool. So now you can't. There was a bug where you could complete a mission prior to the conquest weekly, and then once it moved into the new week, you could complete them all and then essentially just immediately complete your conquest within a couple seconds on a character. So I think that's a good fix that needed to be done. Guild perk reset is now aligned with the weekly reset. That's really cool. So content scaling. The following types of content have been updated as follows. Operations. All operations have been scaled to level 80. Players will be bolstered to 318, which 316 and 318 is the minimum for the new items. Remain the same. Scaled to 80, scaled to 80, scaled to 80. Okay. So Renown, that is essentially, if you play Diablo 3, it's a Paragon level. So you're leveling up post the level cap to get specific rewards. I think the change that they made to gearing doesn't really need for Renown. So Renown achievements have been moved to feats of strength section. So those and have had their point values removed. Okay. Renown caches have been removed. To keep the contents of the Renown caches, players should open them before 7.0 launches. Okay. Otherwise, they'll be converted into 100 credits. Oh god. System no longer awards points based on conversation choices, but rewards grouping activities. That's really cool. Achievements now require group finder activities rather than social levels. I like that a lot too. Character titles that previously came with achievements are now legacy titles. Players who previously earned these titles should still have those, plus access to the new legacy ones. That's cool. Social vendors on the fleet have been moved to the Cantina area and now offer social rewards. Changes to light, dark versus light system. Dark and light points can now be earned through conversation choices and diplomacy's crew skill missions. Remove the following: dark versus light challenge, dark versus light. Okay. The Spoils of War equipment sets no longer drop from content nor can be directly purchased from vendor. Spoils of War achievements have been moved to feats of strength. Work alongside your allies to shared new tagging system. Let's see, we can probably skip some of these. Counter world bosses, all players, including those from opposing factions, share mission credits and loot. That's actually a big one. A lot of times people could just snipe your bosses that you're working on. Tactical vendors are no longer designated by class, so you can use tacticals from other classes, which potentially won't work because some of them are only for class-specific skills. Renown stash has been removed from the top menu bar drag downs. Login rewards have been updated. Renown boost token. These ones have been added. So it looks like crafting tier rewards, potentially schematics and things like that, which is really cool since they took out the renown boost. Subscriber weekly bonuses, tokens of sociable, bag of renown, and stuff that was already stored converted into credits. The following rewards have been added: Ambassador's Curiosity, Rockwell DNA, bounty contracts, construction kits, Galactic Season token. That's really cool. So the subscriber weekly bonus rewards description in the login reward window is no longer overlapping in French and German, not applicable to us. The expansive versatile command stem and login rewards can now stack. Players who earn the following companions can now properly unlock them through collections, okay? Let's go ahead and skip through some of these and see if we can find some of the bigger ones. Cartel market. Let's go to this for a little bit. So this one's for French stuff. The following weapons are now correctly shown in their respective weapon categories. That's cool because I know that there were a lot of bugs with the search feature. This all looks pretty irrelevant. Items and economy. All 6.0 gear crates contain equipment meant for 75 players. Opening these crates at level 80 will provide players with tech fragments. So any crates that you kept from 6.0 will not give you applicable gear for level 80. Items tied to renowned social points in 6.0 gearing have been removed and converted into credits upon player logging in. At level 76 and above, set bonuses have been phased out and replaced with legendary items. Legendary items are implants that have legendary bonus on the item. It is no longer possible to add amplifiers on items. Interesting. The reconstructed Hypergate can now be sold on GTN. That's really cool. Fix a typo in Tattered Mystic's lower robes. Tuning visual effects. Okay, warning pop-up message. Looks like these are all pretty just miscellaneous things here and there. Origin stories and combat styles. Rebalance all the classes from level 1 to 80. All player area of effect ability visuals have been updated to remove faction symbols for a cleaner look with less ground clutter and less confusion. That's pretty nice. Classes are now origin stories embodying the player's voice, background, and where the story begins in the Old Republic. Cool. So there will be class origin stories, and then there are the planetary stories for each planet and things like that. It seems pretty straightforward, just renamed some things. Advanced classes are now combat styles. So advanced classes are specs. So now those are just different combat styles. For instance, there's a tank combat style, DPS combat style, multiple DPS combat styles, and healing combat styles. All players have access to 10 loadouts to use between 2 combat styles for active subscribers and 1 combat style for F2 play and preferred players. That's really cool. The loadouts, like I said before, are really awesome. So these ones, Sith origin stories. So yeah, this is pretty straightforward. Let's go down. So let's check out these. Tooltips, suppressive tools now show the correct value. Reduce cooldown for hydraulic overdrives. The tooltip for vanguards. So these are just kind of miscellaneous things. Miscellaneous flashpoint stuff, bugs, operations. Combat revives are no longer restricted by a shared cooldown while in group. That's pretty cool. So if 2 classes have a combat revive, they can both use them without having a shared cooldown. That'll make operations a little easier. The satchels of crafting materials are now correctly dropping for 2 different players per operation boss. That's really helpful too. It was only dropping for 1, I believe. These look like just bugs that were fixed. It's no longer just possible to see a player outside of the instance in the cutscenes of the Whispers in the Force. Okay, so these are just mission bugs. It looks like war zones. Here's a big one. Introduction to Warzone mission is now rewarding matches played instead of matches won. A sniper gunslinger hitting an enemy player with the orbital strike bomb abilities now correctly puts the player and the target in combat state. So apparently before that was keeping them out of combat, so if it hit someone in stealth, they would stay stealthed, which is not supposed to happen. Fix the additional environmental kill spots in the Mandalorian Battle Ring Arena. The tooltip of the medals to earn this match buff is no longer refers to command experience. Alderaan Civil War players can no longer be pushed outside of the map in this war zone. Okay, cool. So, events. So these are just some bug fixes. It looks like Conquest Solid Resource Matrix items are no longer part of contract Conquest rewards and are now available at the Jawa vendors. That's cool. Personal conquest completion now requires 100,000 conquest points. I think that was really, really good. It honestly could be, I think it should be even 500k or a million, and or maybe some tiered rewards, because 50k you could do in 5 to 10 minutes, even with your crafting, your companion missions. 100k I've also been able to do probably within the hour, maybe 30 minutes or an hour. So I think that they should have some tiered rewards for people who really grind out, because I know some people get up to 5, 10 million on one character or across all their characters. So personal conquest rewards have been updated and now include the following: experience and renown and credit rewards for personal missions. Mission completion have been removed. Okay, because renown's gone. So we can ignore these ones, but for level 80 you'll get 250 tech fragments. Oh, you actually get tech fragments for 75 through 90 as well, which is really cool. You get 200 Medal of Commendations, 25k certificates. Credit words for guild conquests have been adjusted. So for these are for your guild planetary takeovers. So large yield is 3 times 25k credits. This should be much higher, especially considering the market is very inflated right now. There are some items that are selling for 2, 3, 4, 5 billion credits. So I think that this should honestly, like, you should get a couple million for these at least. 75,000 credits literally does nothing. You can buy almost nothing. Only some of the smaller crafting materials and things like that. So these I think should definitely go up, as well as these. Experience, renown, and credit rewards for mission completion have been removed for all guild reward grants. Conquest objectives which are not visible no longer complete and grant conquest points. The personal conquest requisition from login rewards and subscriber weekly bonuses now grant 100,000 personal points, up from 50,000. No, that's pretty cool. The following conquest objectives have been rebalanced and or had their repeatability updated. Activity points flash Activity Finder flashpoints is now a daily repeatable. Change from infinite repeat is now up worth 3,800. Gain 5 levels is now worth 11,000. These are just some things that they increased. Let's see. Yep, these are all just showing conquest increases. Following guild perks are no longer available, so they removed some guild perks. Conquest objectives for renown have been removed. Guild perks for these no longer work in operations, it looks like. Players on Windows 10 no longer crash, so it looks like there was a crashing issue that they fixed. So in essence, they added increased level cap, they added a flashpoint and a planet. They made it so you can create different combat styles. And let's just go, they added loadouts as well. What else? What else are the big main points? 10-year anniversary, which is great. Definitely check it out. Like I said, it's free to play. You can subscribe. You'll get some perks. You'll get some cartel coins, which can help you make a lot of money, or get some really cool, make a lot of credits rather, or get some really cool cosmetic items that look super badass. And I wanted to talk also about the gearing system. So what you'll do is once you hit level 80 on one of your characters, you'll get conquest commendations. These commendations, you'll get 200, I believe, which is exactly enough to get a full set of gear at 320. So you can either get 320 gear, which you will level up via flashpoints, operations, and conquest. You can alternatively get level 316 gear, a full set of 316 gear from the PvP vendor, and you can level up essentially all through PvP. What I've done is I like to mix it up. I do a lot of PvE and PvP, so half of my gear is PvP that I've been leveling up, and half of my gear is from Flashpoint's Conquest operations. So for each different item, let's go ahead and pop open the game here. Oops, sorry guys. Okay, where is it? Come on. Come on. There we go. So, sorry about that. So here we will go to currency, and you'll see tech fragments are still a thing. Conquest commendations you'll get for doing the weekly conquest for each of your characters. Warzone Accelerant, you get those from completing daily and weekly Warzone missions. OP, same thing, but for operations. Daily resource matrices, you'll get from completing dailies and weeklies as well. And FP stabilizers, you will get from completing flashpoints. So, you will buy your gear from the gear vendors. Here's the conquest stuff with conquest accommodations and credits. And then once you have enough mats, you'll come here and you'll see you'll be able to upgrade them. So you'll be able to upgrade each item depending on which vendor you purchased it from. So for instance, if I come over here to the flashpoint, I don't have any available. So that means none of my operation gear is available for update. One more thing, once you hit level 80, you're going to want to go to this implant researcher here on the fleet. Oops. Who is in supplies up here at the top. He will give you a quest to complete 10 different activities, or I think they give you different values, but I know you can do 10 PvP matches to complete it, and he will give you commendations to buy an implant here. So the implants are different than the others. You just buy them straight from here once you complete that mission, and then you can upgrade them with tech frags, daily resource matrices, and conquest commendations. So for instance, this one I already have leveled up to 330, which is the cap. And this one I only have at 326 so far, so I am unable to upgrade it. So also we're going to go over to this combat training area here, which is where the PvP rewards are. I do wish that they had the PvP rewards in the same area so you didn't have to continually run between these. So here's the same situation, PvP gear vendor. These start a little lower because they are a bit easier to level up. So these will start at 316, and you can get all of these items up to 326. So 326 is the max. As you can see, some of my gear pieces I already have 326. Most of my PvP gear is already 326, but these other ones are mostly from the Conquest and Flashpoint sections. So the PvP ones, you'll go here to PvP upgrades. I actually don't have any upgrades, but I'll buy one of these pieces. Let's see what I have as my lowest currently. So I have 322 pants, 322 relic as well. So what we'll do is we'll buy one of these relics. I think the one that we currently have is defense rating. So we will get we'll do absorption rating for this one. Oh, I actually don't have enough accelerants to show you, but so to get accelerants, I would just do the PvP weekly. I'd buy this, and then once I have the mats, I would come here, which also requires the Warzone accelerants, conquest commendations, credits, and I believe tech fragments. So it's similar to the others. But I think this new system of gearing is much better than before. Before it was you just farm tech frags and buy shit. This one, it actually incentivizes you to group and do the weeklies with other people, which I think is really cool. Prior, I know a lot of people were just farming tech frags by conquest on 8 to 10 to 20 alts, which I don't think is very fun. So that being said, 326 is the highest that you can get from Warzone's Flashpoints and Conquest. 330 is the cap, but to get 330 gear, you actually have to do nightmare raids, which I think is fantastic. For PvP, 326, it won't scale higher, so 326 is totally fine if you're just going to be running PvP, or if you're just going to be doing Master Mode flashpoints, veteran ops, and things like that. But if you're an elitist and you want the top tier gear, then you're going to have to run nightmare operations, which are very tough. It'll be probably tough to find a group even if you have full purple 326 gear. I know a lot of people will want you to already have some 328 and 330 gear. Regarding and I believe those are just random drops, so you will have to run quite a few nightmare operations. I'm not 100% sure how those work. I don't know if you get them and then continually upgrade them through the operations, or if you get them through drops, but I'll get back to you on that. So yeah, I think that is about it for the update. I've really been enjoying it. Here's a quick look at the loadouts. I can swap between them. These ones don't have the gear, so I need to update them since I upgraded all of these pieces since I've used these DPS ones. The combat style, they added the ability tree here to directly see it, and then you can choose which of these to get specific abilities and specific buffs and things like that. And then all of the abilities are here to easily add to your hotbars and things like that. Outfitter, this was similar, but I think that this just looks a lot cleaner than it did before, than having to have multiple windows open at the same time and things like that. But yeah, that's the new update in a nutshell. There's a lot of really cool stuff that they've added. I think it looks a lot cleaner. The game has always run very smoothly. There's incentive to do more group content. There's incentive to join a guild and get with groups and do flashpoints, do operations. There's a ton of people that are constantly playing and grouping on and looking for groups for operations, which used to be pretty rare. You used to have to be in a guild that ran them weekly, but I've ran a couple story modes with pug groups. Story mode is the easiest version, and you can run those pretty easily with pug groups. For vet and master, you obviously probably could run vet with a pug group. Master would be very hard with a pug group. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. This is the first of many. I'm going to be also streaming SWTOR over on my Twitch, twitch.tv/TheRaekwon, same as my YouTube name. And I will be uploading sort of guide videos, things that I've learned. I'm sure a ton of people already have guides out there for videos for SWTOR since the game is very old. I don't know why I never did back in the day, because I've played this game since launch and I probably could have had a ton of content out there already with all the different things that I've done, because there's so much end game content that I haven't even touched after probably putting a couple thousand hours into this game, which I think is really crazy. So yeah, please shoot me a subscribe for more SWTOR content. I do reviews for other games, so I'll be doing some upcoming MMOs and other games here and there. If you guys have any games that you suggest or any MMOs that you would suggest I try out, definitely let me know in the comments. If there's anything SWTOR specific that you'd like to know before either downloading it to try, or people who are already playing, if there are things you'd like to know, I have a ton of knowledge for this game that I would love to share with you guys. So if there's any videos you'd like to see, any guides or any suggestions, any builds or things like that, I can definitely help with that. the classes that I have mained are Darkness Assassin, which is a tank. I do a lot of operative healing and DPS. I have a Sith warrior that does usually rage, but I have played most of the specs, and I've played a ton of mercenary heal and damage specs, and I will get into some other stuff as well. But if you guys have any questions, any suggestions, please let me know in the comments. Please shoot me a subscription so the algorithm starts working for my SWTOR videos, and I'll start pumping those out here very shortly. Yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. I know that a lot of you guys out there have come from New World and from Project Gorgon. I may still play them in the future. I'll definitely play Project Gorgon. New World probably not because that game has just caused a massive it's taken a lot of people's time and it essentially just died, and I probably won't be playing that. But yeah, like I said, thank you guys again for watching, much appreciated, and we will see you over on my Twitch, twitch.tv/theraquan, and future videos for SWTOR. And also, if you are here from Project Gorgon, I'll be doing a Project Gorgon Steam game giveaway next in 2 Saturdays, on Saturday, August 6th. Let me just confirm that really quick. Yes, Saturday, August 6th. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'm glad to have you guys here.